Hello, all my magical friends. It is Miss Liz here, one of your librarians. We are here today to learn how to make a fairy garden and have our own fairy tea party. I hope you guys are ready. We are going to make our garden and then enjoy a snack together. We're going to make snail sandwiches, fairy bread, and sweet tea. So get those wings fluttering and head with me into my kitchen where we're going to craft and cook. So the first magical thing we're going to get started with today is learning how to make our very own fairy garden using stuff that we have around the house. I will go through the supplies that I'm going to be using, but you guys are free to use anything that you think a fairy would live in. Fun fact, fairies are actually very resourceful and very sustainable creatures. They like to use twigs and branches and anything they find in the forest to make their homes. So that means that anything in your home, a fairy would totally use to make their house. As I went fluttering around my house, I started collecting my supplies. I don't know if I'm going to use these all today. I'm going to see what my house would look like. But the main things you guys should have is a scissor, some kind of glue, doesn't matter, whatever your favorite kind of glue is. Have some crayons, markers, anything that's colorful that you can draw with. I got some twine, you don't need that. I just thought it looked like something fairy would use. You need the base of your house. So today I'm going to be using a cup, but if you guys have cardboard tubes, those work. If you guys don't have a cardboard tube or a cup to use, feel free to take a piece of paper and roll it up into a circle. This could also be a fairy house. Anything that's a tube-like structure that can stand up. And you guys are going to need something that sits on the roof of the fairy house. So again, you guys can use a piece of paper to lay it flat. You can use, I'm going to use a paper bowl today. You can use that. If you have a drink cup, if you have a cover or a cap of a drink that may be made out of plastic that you're ready to throw out, you guys can use that. Anything that you think will sit on top of your fairy house is good to go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the base of our house, no matter what you're using, and you're going to plan out what you want it to look like. What I do recommend, because this fairy house is going to have a little magic in it at the end, what I do recommend is poking holes in it because you're going to want to see something come through it. So if you're using scissors, make sure that you have a grown-up close by that can help you. If a grown-up is not close by, wait for this step for them to help you because I do not want anybody getting hurt. And I'm going to cut out some fairy windows. Once you have all the windows cut out that you want, your house is ready to be decorated. So you guys can decorate using anything you have around your house. I have pom-poms, buttons, some sequins. You can color it first. You can use stickers. You can use glitter, whatever you have, paint. It's your fairy house, whatever you think it would look like. If you want to go outside and get some nature stuff, that would be a great idea. Get some twigs, get some branches, get some leaves, anything that will decorate it to make it look like a fairy house. So I will show you guys what I'm doing, and while I'm working on mine, I hope you guys follow me and work on yours. Once your fairy house looks exactly the way you want it to, it's time to make our roof. So like I said before, you guys can use anything to make this roof that you guys like. It can be a bowl, it could be another cup, it could be a piece of paper, it could be flat, it could be circle, it could be round, it could be triangle, whatever you think your roof should look like. That is what your roof is. So for mine, I'm going to use a bowl, and I'm going to cut it almost so that it looks like a flower. So now we're going to take our roof and do exactly what we did on the base, and we're going to decorate this to look however we want. So grab your supplies and start decorating. Once the top of your fairy house looks the way you want it to, you're gonna let it dry if you used any glue during this project or paint, and we can put our house together. So while those are drying and setting, I'm gonna clean up some of my craft stuff, and then I'm gonna come back to show you what makes this a very special craft that you guys are gonna wanna use over and over again. So what makes this craft very special is the fact that it can be used as a nightlight. The reason why we cut windows in it is to let the light come out. So what you guys can do is you guys can get either the twinkle lights that are actually called fairy lights and stick them on it, or you can get one of these battery operated tea lights. It's just a switch that turns the light on, and then you can put it under your house. So I've moved my camera closer to our fairy house so you guys can see how it's flickering and how I can use it as a nightlight. Like I said, you guys can use string lights or the battery operated candle that I showed you, or any kind of light that you think would fit into your fairy house. And now that we're done with our fairy house, I have worked up a magical appetite. I don't know about you guys, so we are gonna flutter down to my kitchen and learn to make some sweet fairy treats. I'll see you guys in a few. Thank you, friends, so much for fluttering down to my kitchen with me. To get this tea party started, we are going to make our snail sandwiches. What you all notice, and the reason why I call it a snail sandwich, is that instead of eating the sandwich flat, we're gonna roll it up so it looks like a snail shell. What you guys are gonna need for this is your favorite stuff that you put in a sandwich. It can be bologna, turkey, ham, peanut butter and jelly, butter and jelly, whatever you guys eat that's your favorite sandwich is how we're gonna make it. Today I am gonna make it using my veggie turkey, a piece of cheese, and some white bread, because that is my favorite sandwich. The first thing I do whenever I make a sandwich is I like to cut off all the crust. If you guys like the crust, feel free to leave it on. I do not like the crust, so I like to cut it off. The next thing I do is I take my piece of cheese and I plop it right down. And then I'm gonna take my veggie turkey and layer a piece on top of it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna press this flat and we're gonna roll it. And as you roll it, you're gonna wanna flatten it a little bit. And if you take a look, you can see that everything is rolled up so it looks like a little snail shell. Now if you want, you can cut it into pieces, or you can eat it just one whole roll, whatever you like best. Once I have my sandwich all ready, I'm gonna put it on my tea party plate. Once our snail sandwich is made, the next thing we're gonna make is some fairy bread. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but fairies love sweet stuff. Love it. So fairy bread is not exactly the bread that we know that we just use to make our sandwich. Fairy bread is actually made using cookies. So I hope you guys like cookies as much as fairies do, because that's what's gonna be the main ingredient for our fairy bread that I'm gonna show you guys how to do. So to make fairy bread, what you guys are gonna need is your favorite kind of cookie. It could be a chocolate chip cookie, it could be a sugar cookie, it can be a graham cracker, it can be an oatmeal raisin cookie, whatever your favorite kind of cookie is, that's what you're gonna need as your base. Then you guys are gonna want some kind of frosting. So if vanilla is your favorite, get vanilla frosting. If chocolate's your favorite, get chocolate frosting. And then my favorite part is the decorations for our fairy bread. So today I'm gonna be using sprinkles because I love a good colorful rainbow sprinkle. But you guys can also use mini chocolate chips, mini marshmallows, anything that will fit on the surface of your cookie is fair game. It is your fairy bread, so it's whatever you think fairies will love. And now, my favorite part. decorating my fairy bread. So like I said, you guys can use any toppings you want, whatever your favorite thing to put on a cookie is. I'm gonna use rainbow sprinkles because I think that fairies will eat anything that's colorful like the rainbow. So I wanna make mine look like that. Once your cookies are decorated to your liking, it is time to move them onto our tea party plate. And now, the last thing that we need for our tea party is some tea! Now, the great thing about a tea party is you can have any kind of tea in the world that is your favorite. If you like iced tea, if you like hot tea, if you like orange tea, if you like mango tea, whatever you like. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to make my favorite version of sweet iced tea, but if you do not like this, feel free to make it any kind of tea that you would like. So to make my favorite sweet tea, you guys are gonna need just 2 ingredients. You guys are going to need a lemonade and an iced tea, and you're going to need a big cup of ice to shake it all up in, so make sure that your cup has a cover and that you can shake it up. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a measuring cup, like this guy, and I'm gonna measure in half a cup of my iced tea. Now this could be any iced tea you want. It could be flavored, it could be unsweetened, it can be sweetened, it could be any brand, whatever you like. Then I'm gonna take my lemonade. If you guys do not like lemonade, skip this step. You guys can put in more tea. If you wanna get fancy and add in another flavor, go for it. You could try cranberry juice, you could try orange juice. Orange juice in iced tea, I don't know if you guys have ever had that, is delicious. So you could try that guy. But I'm gonna measure in a half a cup of lemonade. Then all I do is I take my cap, I shake up my iced tea, I uncap it, and it's ready to go.